Okay, so you ready to dive into something pretty interesting today?
Yeah, I think this will be a good one.
We're going to be talking about, well, you sent us some stuff about believers having authority over demons.
Yeah, spiritual warfare.
Spiritual warfare, yep.
It's a big topic.
It's a big topic, lots of different interpretations, lots of different ways to approach it.
Right.
And so we're going to try to unpack that.
Absolutely.
Look at what you sent us and kind of see what we can learn from it.
Sounds good.
So you sent us a lot of Bible verses.
Yeah.
And talks about this idea of like exercising authority.
Right.
And it jumps right in with this Psalm 34.7
Mm-hmm.
and this idea about angels guarding those who fear God. And it's kind of a powerful image, you know?
It is. It's a really powerful image.
Like, what do you make of that?
Well, that verse really touches on this big theme in the Bible of divine protection.
Right.
This idea that God is watching over us and sending, his angels to protect us. And now how we understand angels can vary a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people might take it very literally,
Yeah.
envisioning, actual winged beings, coming down and protecting us.
Yeah.
Others might see it a little bit more metaphorically.
Sure.
Maybe angels represent, those moments where you feel, strength.
Oh, yeah.
Or guidance in a tough situation.
Right, right.
It's almost like a force is watching over you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The material you sent also talks about, well, it pulls in verses from Hebrews and Samuel and Psalms about foundations, strength, overcoming these dangerous creatures.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting imagery there.
What's the connection there?
It seems like, the source is really trying to build an argument using all these different metaphors.
Right.
So, for example, you mentioned foundations. There's a verse in Hebrews, I think it's 1.10, that talks about God laying the foundations of the earth.
Yeah.
And some people might interpret that as like, building your life
Okay.
on a strong foundation of faith in Jesus.
Right.
Making that solid base for your life.
Gotcha.
And then you have verses like, in 1 Samuel 2.4 and Psalm 91.13 that talk about the strength of the righteous. And even like treading on lions and snakes.
Yeah.
Overcoming these dangerous creatures.
That's pretty powerful imagery.
It is. And those could be seen as metaphors for spiritual strength.
Okay.
The power to overcome, challenges or even negative influences in your life.
So like inner strength.
Exactly. Inner strength.
But then it gets even more interesting with Jeremiah 23.4.
Yeah.
Because now it starts talking about shepherds
Right.
protecting their flock.
Mm-hmm.
Is this hinting that like a leader,
Interesting.
maybe a religious figure, has this like special authority over demons?
That's a really fascinating point.
Yeah.
I mean, in the original context, this verse was about God appointing leaders, for the Israelites.
Right. But some groups have interpreted this to mean
Okay.
that, certain individuals,
Yeah.
maybe those with a really deep faith
Yeah.
or in positions of religious authority,
Okay.
might actually like wield power in the spiritual realm.
Wow.
They see it as like an extension of their leadership role.
Okay.
It's a fascinating interpretation,
Wow. Yeah.
It's definitely thought-provoking.
It is. And then there's Isaiah 41.16, which also seems to kind of echo that. It talks about being like scattered by a whirlwind,
Right.
but then rejoicing.
Yeah.
Is that like tied into the idea of overcoming some kind of like negative spiritual force?
With Isaiah, context is always really key.
Sure.
The book is like full of this really vivid imagery
Right.
about God's judgment
Yeah.
and, what happens to those who defy him.
Mm-hmm.
So while it's not like specifically about demons,
Okay.
some people might read it through that lens, right?
Yeah.
See it as like a metaphor for facing trials,
Yeah.
but ultimately finding victory through faith.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily literal.
Right. It could be open to interpretation.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Then there's Isaiah 54.17,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Powerful.
yeah, powerful. It says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper."
Right.
It feels like the source is connecting this directly to like fighting off these demonic attacks.
It's a verse that brings a lot of comfort to people,
Right.
Going through difficult times,
Yeah.
facing challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But again, how we interpret it
Right.
is really crucial.
Yeah.
So are we talking about literal weapons
Yeah.
or metaphorical attacks?
Right.
Are we talking about inner strength, resilience?
Okay.
And then how does that connect to this idea of like having authority over demons?
Yeah.
It really makes you think about, what spiritual warfare is, what it
Right.
looks like.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not always as clear-cut
Yeah.
as we might think.
It's very metaphorical.
It is.
Now, we kind of jump to a different book now, Colossians
Mhm.
2.14:15,
Yeah.
talking about triumphing over these principalities and powers.
Right, that's a big one.
It's a big one.
People have a lot of opinions about that
Is
one.
that referring to demons?
Well, that's where things get really complex. You
Yeah.
know, that phrase, principalities and powers,
Mhm.
has been debated by scholars for centuries.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, some people believe that it refers to actual demonic forces,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
But others see it as more of a metaphor for, like, earthly powers,
Okay.
systems of oppression, or even, like,
Wow.
the negative aspects of ourselves that we struggle against.
So it could be like our internal struggles as well.
Exactly, our own inner demons, in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Wow. So it's not cut and dry.
No, it's very open to interpretation.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So then the material you sent kind of wraps up
Okay.
with some excerpts from 1 Corinthians and Ephesians.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be focusing on Jesus as the foundation
Right.
and being raised up in heavenly places.
Yeah.
Is this like the attempt to tie all of these different ideas together?
I think it is, you know, 1 Corinthians 3.11 really emphasizes, you know, building your life on that foundation of Jesus.
Right.
And then Ephesians 2.6 talks about, you know, believers being raised up with Christ,
Yeah.
you know, in this spiritual sense.
Right.
And it's interesting how the source uses these verses to kind of,
Yeah.
you know, argue for the believers, like, you know,
Right.
elevated position in the spiritual world.
So through faith, we gain a certain
Exactly.
like power or authority.
It's a common idea in
Yeah.
certain, you know, branches of Christianity.
So where does this leave us?
Yeah.
We've gone through all of this stuff.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, a lot of ground and a lot of like powerful verses about this idea of authority over demons.
Right.
And it's clear there's like a lot of different ways to interpret these things.
A lot of room for, you
Yeah.
know, personal understanding.
Yeah, what does all this mean for you, the listener?
You know, that's the beauty of it. It's an invitation to think critically,
Right.
to consider different viewpoints, to really delve deeper into the historical and cultural context of these texts.
Okay.
You know, if this topic resonates with you,
Right.
don't stop here.
Yeah.
Explore different theological perspectives.
Yeah.
You know, have open and respectful conversations with people who might see things differently,
Right.
and maybe even, you know, research the
Okay.
original languages these things were written in.
That's interesting.
You know, the
Yeah.
historical setting.
So this is really just the beginning.
It is. This dive is really just like a starting point
Wow.
for your journey.
And that's what we love about these deep dives.
Absolutely.
They're all about sparking curiosity
Yeah.
and opening doors to like a richer understanding.
Right.
Thanks for joining us
Thanks for having me.
and keep exploring.
Yeah. Keep diving in
Yeah.
to these fascinating topics.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. Well, that was
that was fun.
a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks for
having me.
coming on and sharing your expertise.
My pleasure.
All right. And to the listeners out there, keep sending us your questions.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
Well, yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
See you later.